Well, good morning, everybody. It's Mr. Pete from InsideOut Literary Arts, and I'm here to read you another one of my favorite books of all time. This one comes to you from Shel Silverstein, and it's a book called The Missing Piece. You can see here, this character here, this little circle is our main character. I've been reading a number of books to you about pigs and fish and a little boy with the purple crayon. In this book, the main character happens to be a circle. Now, in my classrooms, I often talk a lot about circles, how there's a lot of circles in the world. The world is a circle. The moon in the sky is a circle. The sun is a circle. This coin is a circle. This hockey puck is a circle. The clocks in our classroom are circles. In here, we've got a book about a circle. There's also a poem that I often use to begin my teaching from the poet Hafiz. This was a poem written, over 700 years ago. And Hafiz said, "A long time ago, God drew a circle in the sand exactly around the place where you are right now standing. You were never not coming here." I really like that poem. And in my classrooms too, we often stand in a circle and draw circles, which the circle isn't just a circle. Maybe it's even a portal or a window through which we can see through and even step through, and we can create a world where anything is possible, we like to say, and nothing is exactly as it seems. So all of that I just share with you or remind you of what you already know in preparation for this story, The Missing Piece by Shel Silverstein. And you can see the circle, who he's not, the character isn't named. I think it's just referred to as it. So you can see it here. The circle has a little eye there, and then there's a little V that is its mouth. Though I guess it considers the fact that maybe his mouth is his missing piece. And as you'll see, the story is a journey, like many books are, going off in search of that missing piece. All right, so Mr. Pete's ready to just read this story. You can see it's kind of a big one, so let's just get right to it. It was missing a piece, and it was not happy. You see that line there? If Harold in the purple crayon had drawn that line, we know that maybe that line would be a road to walk on, and maybe that's what that line is. So it set off in search of its missing piece. And as it rolled, it sang this song. "Oh, I'm looking for my missing piece. I'm looking for my missing piece. Hidey-ho, here I go, looking for my missing piece." He's a good singer, isn't he? Or it. Sometimes it baked in the sun. You can see that little drop of sweat coming off its face. But then the cool rain would come down. And sometimes it was frozen by the snow but then the sun would come and warm it again. It's sort of how the world works. It's how weather works. And because it was missing a piece, it could not roll very fast. So it would stop to talk to a worm. You know, a lot of circles, like let's say a basketball, especially when it's filled with air, it rolls really fast. But because it has this missing piece in it, when it rolls, it sort of takes its time. So it could stop and talk to the worms or smell a flower. It's important to stop and slow down and smell things and talk to things and people. And sometimes it would pass a little beetle. And sometimes the beetle would pass it. I don't think beetles walk that fast. But sometimes maybe it was rolling so slowly that even the beetle would walk past it. And this was the best time of all. It's got a little, looks like a butterfly sitting on top of its head. And you can see that missing piece sort of looks like it's shaped more like a smile. And on it went over oceans. Oh, I'm looking for my missing piece, over land and over seas. So grease my knees and fleece my bees. I'm looking for my missing piece. So what it is missing sort of gives it its sense of purpose. It sort of drives its day through swamps and jungles. So he's looking far and wide for that missing piece. Up mountains, that would be a slow roll up that mountain, and maybe a quicker roll back down. And down mountains, you can see it's sort of upside down at that point. Until one day, lo and behold, you can see there looks like a little triangle there. And you can see it is sort of jumping off the ground with excitement. He starts to sing, I found my missing piece, it sang. I found my missing piece. So grease my knees and fleece my bees. I found my... But this piece has something to say. Wait a minute, said the piece. Before you go greasing your knees and fleecing your bees, I'm not your missing piece. I'm nobody's piece. I am my own piece. And even if I was somebody's missing piece, I don't think I'd be yours. So the missing piece is sort of its own thing. Just like it is his own thing. Oh, it said sadly, I'm sorry to have bothered you. And so on it rolled. It's kind of interesting how the missing piece is saying, no, I don't belong to anybody. I am who I am. Even though he's just a little triangle and not this perfect circle. So it found another piece. I wonder if this other piece might have something to say. But this one was too small. So when it takes that seemingly missing piece into its mouth, it's not a fit. It's not a perfect fit. And then this one, as you can see, was too big. This one was a little too sharp. The end of the missing piece, or this piece, the triangle, sort of comes out the other side of it. And this one, as you can see, was too square. Like trying to put a square peg into a circular opening. One time it seemed to have found the perfect piece. Oh yeah, see, it sort of does seem to fit. But it didn't hold it tightly enough, and it lost it. Another time, it held too tightly. Squeeze something too tight, something might happen to it. Yep. And it broke. We have to be careful with the things that we think belong to us. And you can see it sort of rolls away or moves away, and then that piece is sort of broken into a whole bunch of other pieces. So on and on it rolled. Just like Small Pig keeps looking for that thing that he thinks he's missing, his beloved mud. Having adventures. This one's got an arrow. This looks like an arrowhead. Falling into holes. And bumping into stone walls. You can see all of these shapes here. I don't think any of these shapes look like what it believes it is missing. And then one day, it came upon another piece that seemed to be just right. "Hi," it said. "Hi," said the piece. "Are you anybody else's missing piece?" "Not that I know of." "Well, maybe you want to be your own piece." "I can be someone's and still be my own." "Well, maybe you don't want to be mine." "Maybe I do." "Maybe we won't fit." Well, they just have this conversation, a dialogue about wonder whether or not they should try to come together to become one perfect circular piece instead of two maybe imperfect pieces. It fit. It fit perfectly. At last, at last. You can see, almost makes like a face with two eyes here. And now we've got what looks to be about a perfect circle, or a whole it. It not meaning it no longer is missing that triangular part of itself, which, remember, allowed it to speak and allowed it to sing. And away it rolled, and because it was now complete, it rolled faster and faster, faster than it had ever rolled before, which might be a problem. So fast that it could not stop to talk to the worm, or smell a flower, which it liked to do, remember? Too fast for a butterfly to land on top of its head. But it could sing its happy song. At last it could sing, I found my missing piece. Let's hear that song. And it began to sing. I found my messengers. I found my missing breeze. So goose my knees and bruise my dreams. I found. That doesn't sound like our song, does it? Or its song. Oh my, now that it was complete, it could not sing at all. Interesting. Aha, it thought. So that's how it is. So it stopped rolling. And it set the piece down gently. He doesn't want to break this piece. And slowly rolled away. And as it rolled, it softly sang. Oh, I'm looking for my missing piece. I'm looking for my missing piece. Hidey-ho, here I go, looking for my missing piece. You can see here in this almost final frame of the story, we've got that butterfly landing on the top of its nose, I guess we could call it, which of course you remember when it was able to slow down and smell the flowers and talk to the beetles and slow enough for a little butterfly to land on it. It really enjoyed that. And I think the butterfly probably enjoyed that as well. So that's the story about the missing piece. And I think there's a lot of interesting ideas in this book, and maybe even we might call them philosophies. We might call them lessons or morals or things just to sort of take away from any book that we might read. And what I'd like us to do, what I'd like you to do, is just to think about the book that I just read to you, The Missing Piece, about this circle that seemed to be missing something, that was an imperfect circle. And as it rolled along its way in its search for what it felt it was missing, and when it found what it thought was missing, and how that sort of changed its relationship with the world. At one point it could sing, but when it was a perfect circle with its missing piece, it could no longer sing its beautiful song. Sometimes I think we all feel like we're not perfect, and that we want, or that we're missing something in our lives, and maybe that's okay. But I want to know what you think. I want you to think about the story that I just read to you, that Shel Silverstein wrote down, because that's what writers want from their readers, is for us to think. And more than anything else, I want to know what you think about this story and about what it is saying about us. I'd like it if you just wrote down some of your thoughts about yourself and how you are in the world, and how sometimes we think that we need more than what we have, maybe. But then in the end, maybe who we are and how we were made is how we are meant to be. But again, I want to know what you have to say, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. I'll talk to you later.